Welcome to a Monday edition of Autoweek TV. Coming up, West Coast editor Mark Vaughn takes a closer look at the redesigned Porsche 911. You'll want to stick around for that. But first, here's some car news. Tony Stewart needs to make some room in his trophy case for NASCAR Championship Trophy number 3. Stewart and Carl Edwards dueled to the end of Sunday's NASCAR season finale at Homestead Miami Speedway. Edwards dominated the race early, while some front-end damage and a couple of botched pit stops forced Stewart to battle back from deep in the field. But that was a sign of things to come. An hour-long rain delay and spotty showers eventually moved Stewart out front, with Edwards close behind. Stewart took the checkered flag, meaning he and Edwards ended the season tied in the point standings. But Tony gets the trophy for his 5 race wins this season, compared with Carl's 1 win. All right, the Nissan Titan pickup was introduced in 2004 and has looked pretty much the same ever since. Now, a redesign for the Titan is being pushed back to the 2014 model year. The reason? Getting production back up to speed after the March earthquake and tsunami in Japan forced Nissan to pull engineering resources off the Titan program. And in other news from Nissan, the Japanese automaker says the Cube is sticking around for a while, even though sales have fallen off quite a bit. The Cube had a strong launch in 2009, selling more than 21,000 copies in each of its first 2 years on the market. But sales have slowed this year. Through the end of October, Nissan has sold about 13,800 Cubes and sold just fewer than 200 of them in October. Nonetheless, Nissan sales chief Brian Carolyn says the Cube has found a niche in the market and gets more popular whenever gasoline prices spike. All right, let's get back to the new 911. It's longer, wider, and more comfortable. But is it better? Mark Vaughn sets out to answer that question.
The Porsche 911 has always been the icon of sports cars, going all the way back to 1963. You can make a pretty good argument that it goes all the way back to the 356. It was different from all other sports cars, with the engine hanging out back over the rear axle and the ignition key on the left. But it was always one of, if not the best sports car in the world. This is the latest version of Porsche's iconic 911. It is longer, lower, and wider than the 911 it replaces. Parked next to its predecessor, you'd be hard-pressed to notice the difference. The new car is 4 inches longer, 2 inches of which is in the wheelbase. That doesn't mean the back seats are any more habitable than they were before. They're still just for groceries. But Porsche did a nice job of freshening up the interior on the new car. There are 2 engines. The Carrera gets a smaller displacement 3.4-liter flat-6, making 344 horsepower, while the Carrera S gets a 3.8-liter, making 390 horsepower. Both come with your choice of 7-speed PDK or 7-speed manual. We only drove the Carrera S, but tried out both transmissions. You can't fault either one. How do you fault that much power moving just over 3,000 pounds? If you were to find fault, it would be with the chassis and steering, though you might consider both of those an improvement. The 911 gets electro-hydraulic power steering along with an automatic anti-roll bar feature that completely flattens out cornering. The result is a car that feels almost numb. Porsche says the new suspension and steering communicate only the feel you need and not the noise, vibration, and harshness you don't. But our initial impression is that it all felt numb. We are willing to give it time, though, because Porsche says the new car is faster than the old car, lapping the Nürburgring 14 seconds faster than the old 911 in 7 minutes 40 seconds. You can order a new 911 without the active roll bar feature and with a more lively version of the new steering. Whether these features constitute an improvement or a step away from sportiness depends on your perspective. Those who want a simpler, old-school, lightweight, tossable sports car will probably want a Cayman R. Some will see the new setup as refinement and embrace it. The new car goes on sale in February, starting at $83,050. Is it better than the old 911? Does it represent the way of the future for suspensions and steering? Or will sales of Cayman Rs go through the roof? You decide. As for us, we'll take a few more laps.
Thanks, Mark. That's your hot lap around the car world for today. We'll be back tomorrow, and as always, you can keep up with all the news and racing action at Autoweek.com. And remember, enjoy the drive. Thanks for watching today's edition of Autoweek TV. Be sure to catch all the latest car enthusiast news on Autoweek.com, in Autoweek magazine, and in Autoweek's iPad edition.